Jada had always been the quiet, average girl who didn't really stand out. She was never the pretty one, with her plain brown hair, nor the athletic one. Just someone who blended in. The idea of being on a cheerleading squad had always seemed so far out of reach for someone like her. But when she watched videos of cheerleaders online, something clicked inside her. She loved the flips, the jumps, and the way the cheerleaders moved with such confidence and precision. It felt like something she could love. But as much as she dreamed about it, Jada knew that, in reality, she was nothing special. It wasn't until the tryouts for the school cheerleading team that Jada decided to take the leap. She walked into the gym, her heart racing, knowing she wasn't like the others. The girls on the squad were everything she wasn't, tall, graceful, and fierce. And when she started her routine, the laughter was immediate. Jada? I think you're in the wrong room," one of the girls sneered. "You should be in the chess club or something," another added, mocking her. Their laughter stung. It burned. And though it hurt her deeply, something inside Jada snapped. She didn't cry. She didn't even try to defend herself. She just nodded, left the gym, and made a promise to herself she'd show them all. She would show them that she could be just as good as any of them. For the next year, Jada lived in a bubble of self-imposed isolation. She didn't care about what anyone thought. Every Saturday morning, she was at the gym working on her flexibility. Every evening after school, she stretched and practiced her cartwheels in the backyard. She knew she wasn't flexible enough, and she needed to change that. Slowly, she worked her way into full splits, pushing herself each day to stretch just a little further than the last. Every day felt like a challenge, but she pushed through, knowing this would be the key to unlocking everything she wanted. But flexibility wasn't the only thing she needed to master. She needed strength, core strength, leg strength, upper body strength to be able to handle the flips, jumps, and tucks. So she hit the gym. Every weekend, Jada worked on building her core strength, planking, and doing leg lifts. She trained herself to jump higher, running sprints and practicing high jumps until she felt like she could almost reach the ceiling. And she wasn't just working on her physical strength, she was learning how to control her body. She'd spend hours watching YouTube tutorials, learning about the techniques of cheerleading stunts, practicing every step in front of her mirror until she had it perfect. But the most difficult part came when she started trying to flip. Jada had always been terrified of flipping, but every time she got too scared, she pushed through the fear. She started with front handsprings. Then, once she got comfortable with those, she moved to back handsprings. The first time she hit the floor hard, the sound of her body slamming against it echoed in her ears. But she didn't stop. She stood up, wiped away the dust, and tried again. She spent the next few months learning the perfect backflip, then back tuck, until she was able to do them without thinking. The trick was learning to trust her body and commit to the motion without hesitation. She also focused on improving her jumps, learning techniques like the split leap, a signature move of many cheerleaders, and mastering the tuck jump, which had always seemed out of reach. The first few weeks were tough. She'd push herself so hard she could feel the muscles in her legs burning with fatigue, but she kept at it. Each time she practiced, each time she nailed a move, she could feel herself getting stronger, more confident. The improvements were small at first, but each one built on the last. And with every passing day, she could see her body becoming more limber, more agile, and more capable of handling the challenges she set for herself. Jada didn't stop at flips and jumps. She worked on everything. She learned to turn her body midair and perfected her handstands. She practiced her flexibility every single day, gradually working her way into even deeper splits. She worked on her upper body strength so she could hold stunts without shaking. And every time she felt her confidence waver, she reminded herself that she wasn't doing this for anyone else but herself. She wanted to be good, not because she wanted to prove anyone wrong, but because she had the passion to be the best. After months of training, Jada could finally perform a full cheerleading routine, flipping, jumping, and dancing with ease. She knew she was ready, and when the next round of tryouts came, she wasn't nervous like she had been the year before. Instead, she felt a calm confidence. She knew she had worked harder than anyone, and this time she wasn't about to let anyone laugh at her again. The gym was full of the same girls as last year, girls who had mocked her, who had told her she wasn't good enough. But this time, she wasn't the same girl. This time, Jada was unstoppable. She moved to the center of the room, took a deep breath, and started her routine. The music pulsed through the speakers, and as her body moved, it felt like every part of her clicked. The routine was effortless, the moves sharp and precise. She spun, she twirled, she executed every movement with the grace of a professional. And then came the freestyle section, the moment where Jada knew she had to show them everything. As the beat picked up, she took a leap into a series of backflips, each one flawless, each one smoother than the last. She landed with grace, flowing seamlessly into a tuck jump, her legs straight, her body tight. She moved through every transition with an ease she hadn't thought possible just a year ago. Her flexibility, once a barrier, now became her greatest strength, allowing her to twist and turn her body into positions most people would never dream of. The room was silent. No one could believe what they were seeing. The same girls who had laughed at her last year now stared at her, mouths wide open. One of the girls stepped forward, her voice almost cracking with awe. "Oh my God, where have you been? You were amazing!" Jada didn't let the praise go to her head. She smiled but didn't say anything. She didn't need to. The look in their eyes told her everything she needed to know. She had done it. She had made the squad. She had proved herself. As the weeks passed and Jada became the leader of the squad, she remained humble. She never got caught up in the fame or popularity. She stayed true to herself, always remembering what had gotten her here. Hard work, dedication, and a belief that anything was possible if you never gave up. She helped the other girls improve, sharing everything she had learned, pushing them to reach their fullest potential. But it wasn't just about the cheerleading for Jada. It was about staying true to who she was, even when the world wanted to change her. The girls who had once laughed at her tried to bring her into their circle, but Jada refused. She never forgot where she came from, or the friends who had always believed in her. They were the ones she hung out with, the ones who stayed by her side, no matter what. Even though she was now the leader of the cheer squad, Jada didn't let the popularity or the success change who she was. She knew that her journey wasn't about the recognition or the praise. It was about the love of dancing, the joy of pushing herself to be better every day. And as she led the team through competitions and to the top rankings, Jada knew one thing for sure: she had made it. Not just because of the trophies or accolades, but because she had proven that with persistence and belief, anything was possible. And as she stood at the front of the squad, a smile tugged at her lips. She had become the best, not just because of her dancing, but because she had stayed true to herself, no matter how hard it had been. She had made it happen.